Advaitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagan Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vansha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshitarine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktisiddhānta Saraswate Ti Namine Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Daitaya Kripabdaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Daine Prabhave Nama Madhure Ujjvala Premadhya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Te Nama Namaste Gauravani Shri Murte Dinatarine Rupanuga Virodhapa Upasiddhānta Dvanta Harine Hare Krishna. Very, very auspicious day. The most blessed day of the appearance of His Divine Grace, Srila Bhaktisiddhānta Sri Thakur Gosvāmī Maharaj. And today the world is celebrating 150 years of his appearance. Recently in Delhi, are you aware or not? In Delhi, we had a very big program in one of the stadiums where Prime Minister Modi also came. Are you aware or you are not aware? I will share that. Yeah.
Yes.
Glorifying Srila Bhaktisiddhānta Sri Thakur. So it is very auspicious. And actually, this is the invocation of our Mayapur Yatra. From today, our Mayapur Yatra has begun. Actually, I am feeling in Mayapur Yatra since yesterday. Practically, I could not sleep the entire night last night. Voice is not breaking, everyone else is hearing. आवाज साफ आ रही है ना? वेलकम माता जी को धन्यवाद प्रणाम. आपके साथ आपकी माता जी है, देख लिया मैंने. गोपाल.
वॉइस क्लियर हो, बिल्कुल क्लियर.
गोपाल का मैसेज आया कि वॉइस क्लियर नहीं है. आपको कनेक्शन में प्रॉब्लम है. तो मैं सबसे पहले श्रील प्रभुपाद जी के, I wanted to cover a lot of things, but I could cover very little portion today in the morning of Srila Bhaktisiddhānta Sri Thakur. But I definitely want to cover one very important aspect, is Srila Prabhupada's offering to Bhaktisiddhānta Sri Thakur. The final Vyas Puja offering of Srila Prabhupada in the presence of Srila Bhaktisiddhānta Sri Thakur. This is in 1936. And Prabhupada offered his Vyas Puja. There are many instructions in that Vyas Puja to what it means to be a disciple, what it means to be in the disciplic succession, and what is the glory of Srila Bhaktisiddhānta Sri Thakur in the own words, heartfelt words of Srila Prabhupada. So I will share that. And two aspects of teachings from Srila Bhaktisiddhānta Sri Thakur, which I could not cover in the morning. One is that the seer and the seen. Bhaktisiddhānta Sri Thakur very much emphasized that who is the seer and who is to be seen. Drishta and Drishya. That whenever it will help us very much when we go in our Mayapur Yatra. That what consciousness we should be having to be able to take the darshan of the deities. And secondly, one more important aspect, of what should be the approach to study the scriptures. So this will be very, very helpful in our spiritual practice. So I want to begin with Srila Prabhupada's offering to Srila Bhaktisiddhānta Thakur. आवाज आ रही है गोपाल आपको? बाकी लोगों को तो क्लियर आ रही है।
हाँ प्रभु, अब आ रही है, ठीक है, अब सही है। पीछे ब्लॉक हो रही थी, अब ठीक है।
माता जी आज शॉप पे आई हुई हैं या कैसे?
डेली आती है माता जी ना, शाम को आती हैं, वो हमें संभालने आती हैं।
ठीक है, चलिए बहुत बढ़िया। तो सत्संग कराइए। आज प्रभुपाद जी के, पता नहीं प्रभुपाद जी के डिसाइपल थे या नहीं, वो एक फॉरेन डिवोटी बैठे हुए थे क्लास में, बिल्कुल पास ही बैठे हुए थे मेरे।
हाँ।
और क्लास के बाद जब हम भक्तिसिद्धांत स्वरूप ठाकुर को पुष्पांजलि दे रहे थे, तो मेरे पास आए और मुझसे बोले कि आपने बहुत अच्छी क्लास दी। तो मैंने उनको प्रणाम किया। बोले मुझे हिंदी का एक भी शब्द नहीं आता है, मतलब इंग्लिश में बोल रहे थे मुझे कि आई कैन नॉट अंडरस्टैंड हिंदी, बट द वाइब्रेशन व्हिच वाज कमिंग, इट वाज uplifting me, it was giving me so much of pleasure. So I said this is the vibration coming from Srila Bhaktisiddhānta Swami Thakur and Prabhupada. वो भी इतना एलिवेटेड में। तो प्रभुपाद जी लिखते हैं, वो श्लोक आप ध्यान से पढ़िएगा। हाँ, हम लोग ठीक से पढ़ते नहीं है, पेनिट्रेट नहीं करते हैं। तगवाग विसर्गो जनताग विप्लवो। तो प्रभुपाद जी बोलते हैं लैंग्वेज मैटर नहीं करता है, व्हाट मैटर करता है साउंड। हमारा कनेक्शन कैसे होता है? साउंड। भक्तिसिद्धांत स्वरूप ठाकुर की एक पूरी एनसाइक्लोपीडिया, एक पूरा कंपाइलेशन, इसका नाम है अमृतवाणी। तो उन्होंने बहुत सारी इंस्ट्रक्शंस दी हैं, आज उसमें से कुछ हम लेने का प्रयास भी करते हैं।
ठीक है।
मैं सबसे पहले श्रील भक्ति सिद्धांत स्वरूप ठाकुर को जो प्रभुपाद जी ने ऑफरिंग भेजी है उसको पढ़ूंगा। दिस इज 12 फरवरी 1936 बॉम्बे। क्योंकि श्रील भक्ति सिद्धांत स्वरूप ठाकुर 1 जनवरी 1937 को अंतर ध्यान हो गए। हाँ, उनका तिरोभाव हो गया, तो उसके बाद वो इस धराधाम में नहीं थे। तो लास्ट जब तक भक्ति सिद्धांत स्वरूप ठाकुर इस धराधाम पे थे, ये ऑफरिंग है श्रील प्रभुपाद की। तो दिस श्री व्यास पूजा होमेज वाज रेड बाय श्री अभय चरण दास। उस समय प्रभुपाद जी, अभय चरण दीक्षा हो गई थी प्रभुपाद जी की 1933 में। Before the members of the Gaudiya Math in Bombay in February 1936, on the occasion of the birthday anniversary of His Divine Grace, Prabhupada Srila Bhaktisiddhānta Swami Thakur. His Divine Grace Bhaktisiddhānta Swami Thakur was very fond of the poem by Abhay Charan and was especially pleased by the lines, "Absolute is sentient, thou is proof." So this speech was published later in the Harmonist. तो प्रभुपाद जी ने एक पोयम लिखी, बहुत ही विशेष पोयम है। आज का दिन क्या है, प्रभुपाद जी अपने इस पोयम से व्यक्त कर रहे हैं। प्रभुपाद जी बोलते हैं, Adore, adore ye all, the happy day, blessed than heaven, sweeter than May when he appeared at Puri, the holy place, my Lord and Master, his divine grace. Adore, 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 adore का मतलब समझते हैं कि आप सब इसका स्वागत करिए, स्वागत करिए। किसका? आज के दिन का। क्यों? क्योंकि आज का दिन, हाँ, स्वर्ग से भी बहुत ज्यादा, स्वर्ग से मिलती हुई शुभ कामनाओं से या स्वर्ग से मिलती हुई जो ब्लेसिंग्स हैं, उससे भी इट इज मोर स्वीटर देन दैट, इट इज मोर बेटर देन दैट। व्हाई? बिकॉज टुडे इज द अपीयरेंस डे ऑफ श्रील भक्तिसिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर एंड ही अपीयर्ड एट पुरी, द होली प्लेस। एंड देखिए प्रभुपाद जी के भाव देखिए, माई लॉर्ड एंड मास्टर, चक्षुदान दिलो जई, जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु सही, my Lord and Master, His Divine Grace. O my Master, the evangelic angel, give us thy light, light up thy candle, struggle for existence, a human race, the only hope, His Divine Grace. तो श्रील भक्तिसिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर क्या है? वो है चैतन्य महाप्रभु के पार्षद हैं। तो लिख रहे हैं, ओ माई मास्टर द इवेंजेलिक एंजल। एंजल किसको बोलते हैं? जो कि क्रिश्चियंस बोलते हैं, जो लोग स्वर्ग में रहते हैं। लेकिन भक्तिसिद्धांत स्वरूप ठाकुर कहाँ रहते हैं? वो वैकुंठ से हैं। तो गिव अस दाई लाइट। भक्तिसिद्धांत स्वरूप ठाकुर क्या कर रहे हैं कि हमारा अज्ञान हटा रहे हैं और हमारे अंदर जो ज्ञान की ज्योति है उसको प्रकाशित कर रहे हैं। लिट अप दाई कैंडल। और किससे हमें मुक्त कर रहे हैं? स्ट्रगल फॉर एग्जिस्टेंस। इस भौतिक जीवन में हमें जितना भी संघर्ष करना पड़ता है, उस संघर्ष, जब तक मनुष्य जीवन है तब तक भीषण संघर्ष है। तो उस संघर्ष से हमें ऊपर कैसे उठा रहे हैं? अज्ञान दूर करके और ज्ञान प्रदान करके। और आप ही हमारी, यू आर दी ओनली होप इज डिवाइन ग्रेस। क्यों? क्योंकि मिसलेड वी आर, all going astray, save us, Lord, our fervent pray. Wonder thy ways to turn our face, adore thy feet, your divine grace. एक बद्ध जीव की क्या स्थिति है? वो हमेशा गलत दिशा में जा रहा है, मिसलेड वी आर। और ऑल गोइंग एस्ट्रे, एस्ट्रे का मतलब है जो जानता नहीं कि कहाँ जाना है, उसे गंतव्य पता नहीं, उसे गोल पता नहीं। तो सेव अस लॉर्ड, प्रार्थना कर रहे हैं श्रील प्रभुपाद जी, अपने हृदय से प्रार्थना कर रहे हैं और कह रहे हैं आवर फर्वेंट प्रे। मैं आपसे ये हृदय प्रार्थना कर रहा हूं कि हम अपना मुख आपकी तरफ कर सकें, टू टर्न आवर फेस। अभी हम क्या हैं? हम भगवान और गुरु के विमुख हैं, लेकिन अगर गुरु की कृपा होगी तभी हम उनके सम्मुख हो सकते हैं। हाँ, टू टर्न आवर फेस। भगवत गीता में भी एक श्लोक है, प्रभुपाद जी उदित करते हैं, नाउ दैट अर्जुन हैज टर्न्ड हिज फेस टुवर्ड्स कृष्णा एंड ही इज हियरिंग भगवत गीता। किसी को याद है? वो दूसरे अध्याय में प्रभुपाद जी परपोट में कोट किए हैं। अरे बोलो यार, तुम लोग के चेहरे तो ऐसे उतरे हुए, क्या बात का ब्लेस्ड डे है? हाँ, थके हुए रहोगे हमेशा। मैं पूरी रात नहीं सोया तो भी मैं थकान नहीं है, तुम्हें पता नहीं किस बात की थकान है। क्या मायापुर जाओगे फिर? हाँ, उस सोने के जगह शांत थोड़ी है। बोलो कौन सा श्लोक है? ऐसे मुंह लटका के बढ़े जैसे कभी सुना ही नहीं। समान वृक्षे पुरुषा निमग्नो। नहीं सुनाया मैंने आपको? कई बार सुनाया है ना। हाँ? तो the soul and the super soul, they are seated on the same branch of the tree. लेकिन क्या कर रहा है सोल? सुपर सोल की तरफ नहीं देख रहा है, अपोजिट तरफ देख रहा है। तो अगर वो भगवान की तरफ देखने लगेगा तो उसका जितना भी दुख है वो समाप्त हो जाएगा, इट विल बी ओवर। तो यहाँ पे देखिए प्रभुपाद जी कितनी गहरी पोयम लिखे हैं, कितना शास्त्र को कोट किए हैं। लिख रहे हैं ना, टू टर्न आवर फेस, अडोर दाई फीट। अगर पहले हम आपके सम्मुख होंगे, सम्मुख होने का मतलब क्या है? आपको किसका अनम्यूट है भाई?
Roji, please unmute.
That we should turn our face. And why do we want to turn our face? Adore thy feet. आपके चरण को जोर से पकड़ने के लिए। चरण पकड़ने का मतलब है आपकी शिक्षाओं को, आपके आदेशों को, आपके निर्देशों को। Your divine grace. Forgotten Krishna, we fallen soul, paying most heavy the illusions told. Darkness around, all untraced, the only hope, His divine grace. और बद्ध जीव की क्या स्थिति है? कृष्ण भोलिया जीव भोग वांछा करे। तो भोग करने की जैसे प्रयास करेगा तो क्या स्थिति हो जाएगी? He will fall down. And when he falls down, what he has to do? He has to pay heavy toll. What is the toll? Again and again he has to go into the repeated cycle of birth and death. The illusions toll. Darkness around, all untraced. और कब से इस तरह फंसा हुआ है? प्रभुपाद जी लिखते हैं, from time immemorial. तो बाहर कैसे निकलेगा? The only hope is divine grace. जब गुरु की कृपा होगी, श्रील भक्तिसिद्धांत ठाकुर की कृपा होगी। और भक्तिसिद्धांत ठाकुर की कृपा क्या है? मैसेज ऑफ सर्विस thou hast brought, a healthful life has Chaitanya wrought, unknown to all it's full of grace, that's your gift, your divine grace. तो गुरु सबसे महत्वपूर्ण क्या प्रदान करते हैं? उनका सबसे बड़ा गिफ्ट क्या है? मैसेज ऑफ सर्विस। भगवान की सेवा में हमें नियोजित करते हैं। ही एंगेजेस अस इन द सर्विस ऑफ द सुप्रीम लॉर्ड। और उससे क्या शुरू होता है? अ हेल्थफुल लाइफ। हाँ, eternal life, according to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teaching, which is unknown to all. It's full of grace. It's full of grace. Grace का मतलब है we should embrace. हमें इसे स्वीकार करना चाहिए. If one स्वीकार कर लेता है इसे, that's your gift, your divine grace. और ये next paragraph बहुत ही विशेष है. Absolute is sentient, thou hast proved. Impersonal calamity, thou hast removed. This gives us life anew and fresh. Worship thy feet, your divine grace. Absolute यानी परम सत्य क्या है? Is sentient. Sentient का मतलब समझते हैं? What is sentient? Absolute is sentient, thou hast proved. Impersonal calamity, thou hast removed. आप में किसी ने बाइबल नहीं पढ़ी होगी ना? किसी ने पढ़ी है बाइबल? नहीं पढ़ी है. मैंने पढ़ी है. मैंने पढ़ी है ना. तो बिल्कुल वैसे ही. और ये समझिए कब का है? ये प्री इंडिपेंडेंस का है, 1936, जिस समय ब्रिटिशर्स का राज था इस देश में. बोलो जल्दी बोलो, व्हाट इज सेंटिएंट? फिर एकदम मायूस चेहरे. व्हाट इज सेंटिएंट? Absolute is sentient, thou hast proved. Impersonal calamity, thou hast removed.
कभी सेंटली पर्सन को बोलेंगे कि सेंटिएंट?
नहीं 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 नहीं, अंग्रेजी में तुक्का नहीं चलेगा. प्रणव बोलेंगे. बताओ प्रणव.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, the living entities which feels,
Yes.
which have senses, who feel.
Okay. Sentient means that he is living, he is person. He is person. तो अभी तक लोग क्या समझते हैं कि परम सत्य क्या है? हाँ, निराकार है, इज इम्पर्सनल. तो वही बता रहे हैं दैट दाउ इज सेंटिएंट. दाउ का मतलब क्या है? वो परम सत्य. एब्सोल्यूट इज सेंटिएंट. एब्सोल्यूट इज सेंटिएंट, ही इज पर्सन. फीलिंग, थिंकिंग, विलिंग और फीलिंग किस में होता है? कंप्यूटर में तो नहीं होगा ना. हाँ, पर्सन में होगा. तो एब्सोल्यूट इज सेंटिएंट, ही इज पर्सन. दाउ हैज प्रूव्ड, इसको स्थापित किया. और क्या रिमूव किया? इम्पर्सनल कैलेमिटी, दाउ हैज रिमूव्ड. कि भगवान क्या है? इम्पर्सनल है, फॉर्मलेस है. ये जो मिसकंसेप्शन है वो भक्तिसिद्धांत ठाकुर ने हटाया. दिस गिव्स अस अ लाइफ, अ न्यू एंड फ्रेश. व्हाई? बिकॉज इट अलाउज अस टू एंगेज इन डिवोशनल सर्विस. अगर भगवान इम्पर्सनल है तो उनकी पर्सनल सेवा कैसे कर सकते हैं? फिर विग्रह सेवा क्यों करते हैं? हाँ, फिर तो सेवा करने के लिए कोई स्कोप है ही नहीं, फिर डिवोशनल सर्विस है ही नहीं. तो जो लोग डिवोशनल सर्विस नहीं करना चाहते, जो अपने स्वरूप में स्थापित नहीं होना चाहते हैं, जो स्वतंत्र रहना चाहते हैं, वो क्या बोलते हैं? कि भगवान का कोई स्वरूप नहीं है, भगवान का कोई आकार नहीं है. तो ये जो इतना बड़ा इल्यूजन है, इसको श्रील भक्तिसिद्धांत ठाकुर ने समाप्त कर दिया, फिनिश कर दिया. Had you not come, who had told the message of Krishna forceful and bold? That's your right, you have the mace. Save me a fallen, your divine grace. The line of service as drawn by you, it's pleasing and healthy like morning dew. The oldest of all, but in new dress, miracle done, your divine grace. तो ये प्रभुपाद जी ने 1936 में ही कंपोज दिस पोएम. वेरी वेरी इंस्पिरेशनल. एक्चुअली आई सी मेनी ऑफ माय गॉड ब्रदर्स एंड गॉड सिस्टर्स आल्सो, दे कंपोज पोएम्स इवन फॉर गुरु महाराज व्यास पूजा एंड फॉर श्रील प्रभुपाद व्यास पूजा. सो इट इज वेरी वेरी पर्सनल वे ऑफ ग्लोरीफाइंग आवर स्पिरिचुअल मास्टर्स. And we should attempt that. Those who have this talent, those who have this qualification or quality, must enhance that, must utilize that. You've seen? मैं इसको share कर दूंगा so that you can see. Try to compose in glorification, but it has to be heartfelt, nothing artificial. Of course, artificial it will not come. So whatever we feel from our heart, in the spiritual world, every word becomes a poem, And every step becomes a dance. Yatha Gamanam Natyam. There is this verse in Brahma Samhita which says, then in the spiritual world, every word is like a song that comes out from the mouth, is just like a song. And every step that we move is like a dance. So, this is the heartfelt gratitude of Srila Prabhupada. So, I will read out Prabhupada's speech. So, Prabhupada begins by Sakshat Gharitve Samasta Shastre Uktas Tatha Bhavyate Vasadvi Kintu Prabhorya Priye Vatasya Vande Guru Shri Charanaravindam. In the revealed scripture, it is declared that the spiritual master should be worshipped like the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this injunction is obeyed by pure devotees of the Lord. Very important. Not ordinary devotees can do, or not neophytes can do. Prabhupada is mentioning here that this injunction can be obeyed by pure devotees of the Lord. Why? Because the spiritual master is most confidential servant of the Lord. Thus, let us offer our respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of our spiritual master. Gentlemen, on behalf of the members of the Bombay branch of the Gaudiya Math, let me welcome you all because you have so kindly joined us tonight in our congregational offering of homage to the lotus feet of the world teacher, Acharya Dev, who is the founder of this Gaudiya mission and is the president Acharya of Sri Vishwa Vaishnava Rajya Sabha. Srila Bhaktisiddhānta Thakur established the Vishwa Vaishnava Rajya Sabha. How many of you heard the morning class? कोई नहीं सुना? सब busy है. What was the year when Srila Bhaktisiddhānta Thakur established the Vishwa Vaishnava Rajya Sabha? I mentioned in the morning. 1919. When he started to and when did he take sannyas? Anyone remembers when he took sannyas? Just after taking sannyas. He started the worldwide preaching movement. I mean my eternal divine master, Om Vishnupad Paramhans Parivājakacārya Sri Srimad Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Gosvāmī Maharaj. See how Srila Prabhupada is mentioning the name of his spiritual master. I mean my eternal divine master, Om Vishnupad Paramhans Parivājakacārya Sri Srimad Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Gosvāmī Maharaj. 62 years ago, on this auspicious day, the Acharya Dev made his appearance by the call of Thakur Bhakti Vinod at Sri Kshetra Jagannath Dham at Puri. Gentlemen, the offering of such an homage as has been arranged this evening to the Acharya Dev is not a sectarian concern. For when we speak of the fundamental principle of Guru Dev or Acharya Dev, we speak of something that is universal application. There does not arise any question of discriminating my Guru from yours or anyone's else. So Guru is everyone's. There is only one Guru who appears in an infinity of forms to teach you, me and all others. In the Munduk Upanishad 1-12 it is said, Tad Vijnanartham sa Guru eva bigachet samitpani shrotriyam brahmanishtam. In order to learn the transcendental science, one must approach the bona fide spiritual master in disciplic succession. Who will approach? Who is interested to know the transcendental science. Who is fixed in that absolute truth. Who is spiritual master? Spiritual master one who is fixed in the absolute truth. Thus it has been enjoined herewith that in order to receive that transcendental knowledge, one must approach the Guru. Therefore, if the absolute truth is one, about which we think there is no difference of opinion, the Guru cannot be two. The Acharya Dev to whom we have assembled tonight to offer our humble homage is not the Guru of a sectarian institution or one out of many differing exponents of the truth. On the contrary, he is the Jagat Guru or the Guru of us all. The only difference is that some obey him wholeheartedly while others do not obey him directly. See, Prabhupada is so practical. He is saying that Bhaktisiddhānta Thakur is the Jagat Guru. He is the Guru of all. But there are difference. Where is the difference? Difference in his being his disciple. The only difference is that some obey him wholeheartedly. These are the blessed people, very fortunate people. While others do not obey him directly. These are the most unfortunate people. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 17:27, it is said, Acharya mam vijaniyam navamanyet karhichit namratya buddhaya ayus asuyeta sarvadevo mayo gurum. Very powerful verse. This verse says, Krishna is saying to Uddhava, what is he saying? That one should understand that the spiritual master to be as good as I am. Acharyam mam vijaniyam. That Uddhav, I appear as an acharya. One should understand the spiritual master to be as good as I am, said the blessed Lord. Nobody should be jealous of the spiritual master or think of him as an ordinary man. Na avamanyet karhichit. Avamanna, you understand, na? Is disrespect. He says, na avamanyet karhichit. Never ever one should disrespect or one should have any envy towards the spiritual master. Nobody should be jealous of the spiritual master or think of him as ordinary man. Because the spiritual master is the sum total of all demigods. Sarva Devo Mayo Gurum. Mayo, again Krishna is saying. Here is saying Mam and here is saying Mayo. That because the spiritual master is sum total, that it is me only who exhibit in the form of the spiritual master. So if you want to see Krishna's mercy moving, how it exhibits? In the form of the spiritual master. That is the Acharya, has been identified with God himself. He has nothing to do with the affairs of this mundane world. He appears before us to reveal the light of the Vedas and to bestow upon us the blessing of the full-fledged freedom after which we should hanker at every step of our life's journey. The transcendental knowledge of the Vedas was first uttered to God, by God to Brahma, the creator of this particular universe. From Brahma, the knowledge descended to Narad, from Narad to Vyasdev, Vyasdev to Madhva, and in this process, the disciplic succession, the transcendental knowledge was transmitted by one disciple to another till it reached Lord Gauranga, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, who posed as the disciple and successor of Sri Ishwar Puri. The present Acharya Dev is the 10th disciplic representation from Srila Rupa Gosvāmī, the original representative of Lord Chaitanya, who preached this transcendental tradition in its fullness. पूरी परंपरा बता रहे हैं ये कहाँ से आ रहे हैं. Srila Bhaktisiddhānta Thakur, whom is he representing? From Krishna to Brahma, and from Brahma to Narad, Narad to Vyas, Vyas to Madhva, and then Lord Chaitanya, and from Lord Chaitanya, how it is coming down through the disciplic succession of Srila Rupa Gosvāmī. The present Acharya Dev is the 10th disciplic representative from Srila Rupa Gosvāmī, the original representative of Lord Chaitanya, who preached this transcendental tradition in its fullness. The knowledge that we receive from our Gurudev is not different from that imparted by God himself and the succession of the Acharyas in the preceptual line of Brahma. We adore this auspicious day as Vyas Puja Tithi because the Acharya is the living representative of Vyasadev, the divine compiler of Vedas, Puranas, Bhagavad Gita, Mahabharata, and Srimad Bhagavatam. One who interprets the divine sound or Shabd Brahma by his imperfect sense perception cannot be a real spiritual guru. Because in the absence of proper disciplinary training under the bona fide Acharya, the interpreter is sure to differ from Vyasadev as the Mayavadis do. Srila Vyasadev is the prime authority of Vedic revelations, and therefore such an irrelevant interpreter cannot be accepted as the Guru or Acharya, howsoever equipped he may be with the acquirement of material knowledge, as it is said in Padma Purana. So, unless and until one is coming in the parampara, one cannot be accepted as the representative or a guru or an acharya. Sampradaya vihina ye mantraste nishphala mata. Unless you are initiated by a bona fide spiritual master in the disciplic succession, the mantra that you might have received is without any effect. On the other hand, now, who has received his transcendental knowledge by oral reception. Please hear very attentively. This is Srila Prabhupada's word for Srila Bhaktisiddhānta Thakur. He is saying that on the other hand, one now who has received the transcendental knowledge by oral reception from the bona fide preceptors in disciplic chain, and who has sincere regard for the real Acharya, must needs be enlightened with the revealed knowledge of the Vedas. But this knowledge is permanently sealed to the cognitive approach of the empiricist. As it is said in the Shweta Upanishad, Yasya deve para bhaktir yatha deve tatha guru tasyeta kathita hi artha prakashante mahatmana. Only to those great souls, please hear very attentively, only to those great souls who simultaneously have implicit faith in both the Lord and the spiritual master. Same faith, same level of faith to both, are the imports of Vedic knowledge automatically revealed. Otherwise, what is the word Prabhupada is saying? It is permanently sealed. It cannot be revealed. Prabhupada ne upar likha na? But this knowledge is permanently sealed to the cognitive approach of the empiricist. Empiricist is empirical philosophers. And those who have this implicit faith both in the Lord and the spiritual master, the Vedic knowledge is automatically revealed. There is a very beautiful pastime of Srila Bhaktisiddhānta Thakur. आज की क्लास थोड़ी लंबी चलेगी क्योंकि I want to cover at least these two aspects. So how it happens? It is there in Srila Bhaktisiddhānta Thakur's disciples. Gentlemen, our knowledge is so poor, our senses are so imperfect, and our sources are so limited that it is not possible for us to have even the slightest knowledge of the absolute region without surrendering ourselves at the lotus feet of Sri Vyasadeva or his bona fide representatives. Every moment we are being deceived by the knowledge of our direct perception. समझ रहे हैं ना? Direct perception क्या है? We will accept only what we see. What can we see? It is all the creation of concoction of the mind, which is always deceiving, changing, and flickering. We cannot know anything of the transcendental region by our limited, perverted method of observation and experiment. But all of us can lend our eager ears for the oral reception of the transcendental sound transmitted from this region, from that region to this, through the unadulterated medium of Sri Gurudev or Sri Vyasadeva. Therefore, gentlemen, we should surrender ourselves today at the feet of the representative of Sri Vyasadeva for the elimination of all of our differences bred by our unsubmissive attitude. The Prabhupada is so practical. He said, what is today's date? Today's day is a day of having our submission and surrender, an elimination of our unsubmissive attitude. It is accordingly said in Bhagavad Gita 4.34, Tadvidi paripatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshibhi. Just approach the wise and bona fide spiritual master, surrender unto him first, and try to understand him by inquiries and service. Such a wise spiritual master will enlighten you with the transcendental knowledge, for he has already known the absolute truth. To receive transcendental knowledge, we must completely surrender ourselves to the real acharyas in the spirit of ardent inquiry and service. So what surrender means, Prabhupada is explaining. Actual performance of service to the absolute under the guidance of the acharya is the only vehicle by which we can assimilate transcendental knowledge. So what is important is our service. Today's meeting, our offering our humble services and homage to the feet of the Acharya Dev will enable us to be favored with the capacity of assimilating the transcendental knowledge so kindly transmitted by him to all persons without distinction. Gentlemen, we are all more or less proud of our past Indian civilization, but we actually do not know the real nature of that civilization. We cannot be proud of our past material civilization
which is now 1,000 times greater than in days gone by. It is said that we are passing through the age of darkness, the Kali Yuga. What is this darkness? The darkness cannot be due to backwardness in the material knowledge, because we now have more of it than formerly. If not, we ourselves, our neighbors at any rate, have plenty of it. Therefore, we must conclude that the darkness of the present age is not due to a lack of material advancement, but that we have lost the clue to our spiritual advancement, which is the prime necessity of human life and the criteria of the highest type of human civilization. Throwing off bombs from airplanes is no advancement of civilization. From the primitive, uncivilized practice of dropping big stones on the heads of enemies from the top of hills. Improvement of the art of killing our neighbors by means of machine guns and poisonous gases is certainly no advancement. From primitive barbarism, barbarism समझते हैं? Cruelty, cruelty, which is prided itself on the art of killing by bows and arrows. Nor does the development of the scene of pampered selfishness prove anything more than intellectual animalism. The Prabhupada condemn कर रहे हैं किस बात का advancement है? What type of advancement we are boasting? How to be able to kill others? Is that advancement? Instead of using stones, we are using bombs. Instead of killing by bows and arrows, people have now machine guns. So is this development? And then he is saying that the second part is selfishness. So selfish is an animal. True human civilization is very different from all these states. And therefore in the Katha Upanishad 1.3.14, there is an emphatic call. Uttishta jagrata prapya varan nibodhata Krusurasya dhara nishita duratyaya Durgam patastat kaviyo vadanti. Uttishta means to wake up. Please wake up and try to understand the boon that you have in this human form of life. Uttishta jagrita. Jagrita means to become aware, awakened. The path of spiritual realization is very difficult. It is duratya. It is sharp like a razor's edge. That is the opinion of learned transcendental scholars. Thus, while others were yet in the womb of historical oblivion, the sages of India have developed a different kind of civilization which enabled them to know themselves. They had discovered that we are not at all material entities, but we are all spiritual, permanent and indestructible servants of the Absolute. But because we have, against our better judgment, chosen to completely identify ourselves with the present material existence, our sufferings have multiplied according to the inexorable law of birth and death, with its consequent disease and anxieties. These sufferings cannot be really mitigated by any provision of material happiness, because matter and spirit are completely different elements. It is just as if you took an aquatic animal out of water and put it on the land, supplying all manner of happiness possible on land. मछली को पानी से निकाल के एसी में दे दो, उसको वाइन दे दो, उसको कुछ भी दे दो, it will not experience any happiness. The deadly suffering of the animals are not capable of being revealed at all until it is taken out of the foreign environment. Spirit and matter are completely contradictory things. देखिए प्रभुपाद जी कितना philosophically explain कर रहे हैं. All of us are spiritual entities. We cannot have perfect happiness, which is our birthright. However much we may meddle with the affairs of mundane things, perfect happiness can be ours only when we are resorted to the natural state of spiritual existence. This is the distinctive message of our ancient Indian civilization. This is the message of Gita. This is the message of the Vedas and the Puranas, and this is the message of the real Acharyas, including our present Acharya Dev in the line of Lord Chaitanya. Gentlemen, although it is imperfect, although it is imperfectly that we have been enabled by His divine grace to understand the sublime message of our Acharya Dev. Om Vishnupad Paramhans Parivajkacharya Sri Srimad Bhaktisiddhānta Sri Gosvāmī Maharaj. We must admit that we have realized definitely that the divine message from His holy lips is the congenial thing for suffering humanity. All of us should hear Him patiently. If we listen to the transcendental sound without unnecessary opposition, we will surely have mercy upon us. The Acharya's message is to take us back to our original home, back to God. Let me repeat, therefore, that we should hear Him patiently, follow Him in the measure of our conviction, and bow down at His lotus feet for releasing us from our present causeless unwillingness for serving the Absolute and all souls. From the Gita, we learn that even after the destruction of the body, the Atma or the soul is not destroyed. He is always the same, always new and fresh. Fire cannot burn Him, water cannot dissolve Him, and air cannot dry Him up. And the sword cannot kill Him. He is everlasting, the eternal, and is also confirmed in the Srimad Bhagavatam. One moment. यस्यात्मा बुद्धि कुनुपेत्री धातु के स्वधि कलत्रादिषु भौम इज्यधि यत्तीर्थ बुद्धि सलिले न करहि चेत जनेषु अभिघ्नेषु स एव गोखरा. Anyone who accepts this bodily bag of three elements, bile, mucus, and air, and as his self, yasyatma buddhi kunupetri dhatu ke, very powerful verse. It says that everyone is thinking that what is his buddhi, what is his intelligence, that he is made up of three dhatu. What is the three dhatu? Kav, Vat, and Pitra. Anyone who accepts this body bag of three elements, bile, mucus, and air, as his self, and who has affinity for an intimate relation with his wife, Swadhi. Swadhi is the self, which is the body, and Kalatra is the wife. So who has intimate relation with his wife and children, who consider this land worshipable, and who takes bath in the water of the holy places of pilgrimage, but never takes advantage of those persons who are actually knowledge, he is no better than an ass or cow. Very strong. Although he is in human body, but his consciousness is like an ass or a cow. Unfortunately, in these days, the Prabhupada kab se bata rahe hai? 1936. Unfortunately, in these days, it is almost 100 years back. Unfortunately, in these days, we have been turned foolish by neglecting our real comfort and identifying the material cage with ourselves. We have concentrated all our energy for the meaningless upkeep of the material cage for its own sake, completely neglecting the captive soul within. The cage is meant for undoing of the bird. The bird is not meant for the welfare of the cage. Let us therefore deeply ponder this. All our activities are now turned towards the upkeep of the cage. And the most we do is to try to give some food to the mind by art and literature. The Prabhupada ji poll khol rahe hain hamari. It is what we are doing. We are just trying to furnish the cage. एक चिड़िया जो पिंजरे में बंद है, तो पिंजरे का ख्याल रख रहे हैं अपने शरीर का. But we do not know that the mind is also material and is more subtle form. This is stated in Bhagavad Gita 7.4. Bhumirapo nalo vayu kham manor buddhi revacha ahankariti mahyam me bhinna prakriti rashtada. Earth, fire, water, air, sky, intelligence, and mind and ego are all my separated energies. We have scarcely tried to give any food to the soul, which is distinct from the body and mind. Therefore, we are all committing suicide in the proper sense of the term. The message of the Acharya Dev is to give us warning to halt all such wrong activities. Let us therefore bow down at his lotus feet for the unalloyed mercy and kindness he has bestowed upon us. Gentlemen, do not for a moment think that my Gurudev wants to put a complete break on the modern civilization. An impossible feat. But let us learn from him the art of making the best use of a bad bargain. Let us understand the importance of this human life, which is fit for the highest development of true consciousness. The best use of this human life should not be neglected, as it is shared in Srimad Bhagavatam. Labdva sudurlabham idam bahu sambhavante manusyanam arthadam anityam afildhara turnam yatet napatet anumrityu yaman nishreya shreyasya vishaya khalu sarvata syat. This human form of life is obtained after many, many births. Labdva sudurlabham idam bahu sambhavante. After many, many births. And it is, although it is not permanent, it can offer the highest benefits. Therefore, a sober and intelligent man should immediately try to fulfill the mission and attain the highest profit in life before another death again. Turnam yatet na patet anu mrityu yava. So we are all subject to death. So before the death comes, we should have this mission fulfilled and attain the highest profit. He should avoid sense gratification which is available in all circumstances. Let us not misuse this human form of life in the vain pursuit of material enjoyment, or in other words, for the sake of only eating, sleeping, fearing, and sensuous activities. The Acharya Dev message is conveyed by the words of Srila Rupa Gosvāmī, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Anasaktasya Vishayam Yataram Upiyunjuta Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe Yukta Vairagyam Uchyate Prapanchakataya Buddhya Hari Sambandhi Vastuna Mumukshubhi Parityago Vairagyam Falgum Kathyate. It is said to be, one is said to be situated in the fully renounced order of life. If he lives in accordance with Krishna consciousness, he should be without attachment for sense gratification and should accept only what is necessary for the upkeep of the body. On the other hand, one who renounces things that could be used in the service of Krishna under the pretext of such things are material does not practice complete renunciation. So this is Yukta Vairagya and Falgu Vairag. The purport of these slokas can only be realized by fully developing the rational portion of our life, not the animal portion. Sitting at the feet of the Acharya Dev, let us try to understand from this transcendental source of knowledge what we are, what is this universe, what is God, and what is our relationship with Him. The message of Lord Chaitanya is the message for the living entities and the message of the living world. Lord Chaitanya did not bother himself for the upliftment of the dead world, which is suitably named Mrityaloka, the world where everything is destined to die. He appeared before us 400 years and 450 years ago to tell us something of the transcendental universe, where everything is permanent and everything is for the service of the Absolute. But recently, Lord Chaitanya has been misrepresented by some unscrupulous persons, and the highest philosophy of the Lord has been misinterpreted to be the cult of the lowest type of society. We are glad to announce tonight that our Acharya Dev, with his usual kindness, saved us from the horrible type of degradation, and therefore we will bow down at his lotus feet with all humility. Gentlemen, it has been mania of the cultured or uncultured society of the present day to personality of God with merely impersonal nature and to stultify him by claiming that he has no senses, no form, no activity, no head, no legs, and no enjoyment. This has also been the pleasure of the modern scholars due to their sheer lack of proper guidance and true introspection in the spiritual realm. All these empiricists think alike. All the enjoyable things should be monopolized by the human society or by a particular class only. And the impersonal God would be a mere order supplier for their whimsical feast. We are happy that we have been relieved of this horrible type of malady by the mercy of His divine grace. He is our eye-opener, our eternal Father, our eternal preceptor, and our eternal guide. Let us therefore bow down at His lotus feet on this auspicious day. Gentlemen, although we are like the ignorant child in the knowledge of transcendence, still my Gurudev has kindled a small fire within us to to dissipate the invincible darkness of empirical knowledge. We are now so much on the safe side that no amount of philosophical argument by the empiric school of thought can deviate us an inch from the position of our furthermore, to challenge most erudite scholars of the Mayavad school and prove that the personality of Godhead in his transcendental sports in Golak alone constitute the sublime information of the Vedas. There are explicit indications of the Chandogya Upanishad. Syamak cha valam prapadde, sa valak shyamam prapadde. For receiving the mercy of Krishna, I surrender unto Krishna. Also in the Rig Veda, Tad Vishnu Paramam Padam Sada Pashyanti Suryaya Diviva Chakshurata Vishnu Yat Paramam Padam. The lotus feet of the Lord Vishnu are the supreme objective of all the demigods. These lotus feet of the Lord are as enlightening as the sun in the sky. The plain truth is so vividly explained in the Gita, which is the central lesson of the Vedas, is to understand or even suspected by the most powerful scholars of the empiric school. Herein lies the secret of Sri Vyas Puja. When we meditate on the transcendental pastimes of the absolute Godhead, we are proud to feel that we are his eternal servitors, and we become jubilant and dance with joy. All glory to my divine master, for he who has out of his unceasing flow of mercy stirred up within us such a movement of eternal existence. Let us bow down at his feet. Gentlemen, had he not appeared before us to deliver us from this thraldom of this gross worldly delusion, surely we would have remained for lives and ages in this darkness of helpless captivity. Had he not appeared before us, we would not have been able to understand the eternal truth of the sublime teachings of Lord Chaitanya. Had he not appeared before us, we could have not been able to know the significance of the first shloka of the Brahma Samhita, Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarvakaran Karanam. Krishna, who is known as the Govinda, is the supreme Godhead. He has an eternal blissful spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin and he is the prime cause of all causes. Personally, I have no hope for any direct service of the coming crores of birth in the sojourn of my life. But I am confident that someday or other, I shall be delivered from this mire of delusion in which I am at present so deeply sunk. Therefore, let me with all my earnestness pray at the lotus feet of my divine master to allow me to suffer a lot for which I am destined due to my past misdoing, but to let me have his power of recollection that I am nothing but a tiny servant of the Almighty Absolute Godhead, realized through the unflinching mercy of my divine master. Let me therefore bow down at his lotus feet with all the humility to my command. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. I'll stop here. It is getting late. Some other time we will discuss. Very important. So you see how Srila Prabhupada is pouring his heart out for his spiritual master. And when? 90 years back. In 1936. So we should see how Vyas Puja is to be written. Actually, if you will see what the poem is, if you see what the stanza Srila Prabhupada has given in the poem, Prabhupada has explained that in his Vyas Puja offering. Hare Krishna. आप में से किसी को कुछ बोलना है श्रील भक्तिसिद्धांत ठाकुर के गुणगान में? कुछ इंस्पायर हुए हैं आप तो बोलिए जरूर. अभी सोच रहे हैं, कुछ नहीं इंस्पायर हुए. मैं तो इतना इंस्पायर हुआ कि मैं रुक नहीं रहा हूँ. आज सुबह मैंने अभी तक की सबसे लंबी क्लास दी अपने टेम्पल हॉल में. रुक ही नहीं रहा था. बोलो.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare
Prabhuji,
Krishna.
Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Thakurji, he removed the impersonalism, Prabhuji. Otherwise, we would not have been able to serve the Lord. The joy of serving has not been come without his intervention.
Is the impersonalism removed from our heart? Have we become personal?
No, Prabhuji, no, not yet.
But the process he has begun. He has given us the process. How to convert an impersonal heart to become personal. Why? How? What is the converting factor? Is engaging in service. Is engaging in service. So if we don't engage in service, then we cannot hear. If we don't hear, we cannot see. So that is why those people who go to see the deities, Bhaktisiddhānta Thakur used to say, क्या आपकी आई एक्सरसाइज हो गई? क्या आ जाते हैं भगवान के सामने जाके क्या करते हैं? आई एक्सरसाइज. देख सकते हैं? कैसे देखेंगे? कॉन्शियसनेस है ही नहीं, दिखेगा क्या? तो एब्सोल्यूट इज sentient. Tao has proved. How? Explain किया Srila Prabhupada ji ने, by engaging us in devotional service. This is the greatest gift. This is the greatest gift of our spiritual masters, that they engage us in devotional service. Because when we engage in devotional service, we purify our existence. We spiritualize our senses. We purify our mind and heart. The Lord is already there. Then He will reveal. And what is most important thing? What is the most important thing in the entire Vyas Puja offering? Srila Prabhupada again and again stressed. अगर प्रभुपाद जी की पूरी व्यास पूजा ऑफरिंग है, उसको अगर आपको एक सेंटेंस में प्रेजेंट करना है तो क्या बताया प्रभुपाद जी ने? बोलो पुरुषोत्तम.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhu, we should consider spiritual master as Lord.
Yes. We should have full faith in the spiritual master as the Supreme Lord. Yasya deve para bhaktir yatha deve tatha guru. We should have unflinching faith in the spiritual master as we have faith in the Supreme Lord. This is most important. Then, tasya kathita hi artha prakashante mahatma. ठीक है, थैंक यू वेरी मच. कल आप कितने बजे आ रहे हो पुरुषोत्तम?
तो मैं निकलूंगा यहाँ से 8 बजे.
9 बजे भी निकलो, 9 साढ़े 9 बजे भी निकलो तो भी आ जाओगे आराम से. आराम से, सुबह नहीं, आराम से अपना ब्रेकफास्ट वगैरह करके आराम से सारा घर वर का काम करके 10 बजे भी निकलोगे तो भी 2 बजे आ जाओ मैक्सिमम.
यस.
ठीक है, लेकिन 2 से लेट मत करना. ऐसा नहीं है 4 बजे आ रहे हो, हमें संकट में डाल रहे हो, हमारी भी ट्रेन मिस करा रहे हो, वो काम मत करना.
ठीक है सर.
बाकी सब अपने आप पहुंचेंगे. रविंद्र क्या टाइमिंग है? डिपार्चर टाइम क्या है?
प्रभु जी 4:50.
आप डाल देना कौन से प्लेटफॉर्म से है. न्यू दिल्ली से है?
जी प्रभु जी, न्यू दिल्ली.
तो प्लेटफॉर्म भी कौन सा प्लेटफॉर्म है? अजमेरी गेट से है या पहाड़गंज से है? ठीक है, टाइम बचेगा. भीड़ लगती है और स्कैनिंग भी होती है, तो थोड़ी देर पहले आना पड़ेगा. रेलवे प्लेटफॉर्म पे बहुत भीड़ होती है और भी स्कैनिंग करनी पड़ती है लगेज की. एलिवेटर लेके ऊपर जाते हैं, उसमें बहुत टाइम वेस्ट होता है. तो प्लीज बी टाइम.
मुझे टेम्पल कब पहुंचना है आप बता रहे थे?
आ जाओ 3 बजे तक आ जाओ. 2:30 से 3 बजे तक आ जाओ. ठीक है. प्रणव, when are you leaving? Tomorrow?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Day after tomorrow, Prabhuji, 11 a.m. my flight.
Second.
Second. Yes.
You will reach Mayapur on 2nd?
Yes, second. 11 my flight.
Okay, I just got a call few hours back. Devashish and Manoram Prabhu has already left from Mayapur. They will reach tomorrow early morning and they'll arrange everything before we come. चलो भक्तिसिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर आविर्भाव तिथि महा महोत्सव की जय. श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. निताई गौर प्रेमानंद.